For my project, I researched consumers' privacy rights and laws. My compelling question was first, what type of privacy laws do consumers have, and how are companies violating them, for kids and adults, in the computer/technology side of this problem and solution? After doing just, a tiny bit of research, I changed the question to how are companies creating products designed for consumers by violating privacy laws to protect their invasion of privacy. I learned about this topic through an article I read called How Companies Learn Your Secrets from the New York Times Magazine. This article investigated that Target takes advantage in some brief periods of a person's life where old routines fall apart and then suddenly change their buying habits, and Target capitalizes off of this time to shower that person with ads because people who are going through new experiences are often more vulnerable to buy more items than the average shopper. Target is able to do this because every Target member items are tracked and recorded when shopping. Then Target creates ads based on your shopping cart. I wanted to investigate this issue because I wanted to inform others that a lot of companies can track you on their websites and also find information about you on the web. Companies then sell this information to others from their websites or apps. First, in order to answer my question, new laws have to be created. One law should have to restrict companies and set a boundary for how much they can find out about a certain person. Second, the user must be able to turn off websites from tracking users to ensure their safety. Also, the few current laws that do exist, they need to be changed in order for companies to not be able to find loopholes through them. One example is COPPA, which stands for the Child's Online Privacy Protection Act. This law protects children under the age of 13 from websites collecting personal information. COPPA requires sites and services to contact the child's parents to get approval before they collect or disclose the information to other companies. Furthermore, websites should not be able to send personal information to other companies unless they're authorized by the consumer. Also, ads are another way companies trick you into buying and paying more, thus depending on what you are looking up or watching. Ads should be taken away from websites, apps, and even TV. A large problem is you pay money for like a computer or a television, thousands of dollars. Whether you watch YouTube or TV, depending on what you watch, like video games on YouTube, there will be ads for new games to make you buy the game. In conclusion, new laws and pre-existing laws need to be changed to ensure companies don't find ways around them and to make sure that ads don't exist.
California has adopted a similar privacy law to the EU, so Congress wants to pass legislation strong enough to supersede the Golden State's online privacy law. While all tech giants admit privacy is important, the question remains if they've already gone too far.
While there are legal protections for certain categories of sensitive information, such as financial information or health data, vast amounts of other personal data are being collected, shared, tracked, and even sold online without any specific protections.
Another concern addressed was tech companies breaching children privacy laws. A prime example, apps tracking their whereabouts.
It's hard for me to figure out if we are talking about data security or data privacy or both.
But talking specifics of security also opened Pandora's box about China potentially having access to information.
I decided to communicate with a computer science professor. The hard part was finding a teacher to interview, because I wouldn't be able to use a teacher I paid, because I wanted someone who was currently working in the field. Since my brother was in college, I asked him if he had any computer science teachers who were willing to do an interview, and I was able to find a man named Dr. Stam, who is currently the head of the cybersecurity, and he works for the Firefox cybersecurity team before he started teaching. Sadly, when I was recording our interview, there was no audio, but I took notes on his answers to the questions I asked him. Many people don't realize when they are surfing the internet or on apps, many people are collecting information and creating ads directly towards you. It's quite scary and true that Google knows you better than your closest friends and family members, because Google records everything you look up.
Have you ever wondered what Google knows about you? I recently dug through to try to find out what kind of data Google stored on Todd Hazelton, and I was surprised by what I found. The first thing you want to do is go to what's called Google's ad settings page, typing adsettings.google.com, and you'll log into your account, and then you'll see exactly what Google thinks you like. So for example, Google knows that I like American football, books and literature, business news, and more. Google also knows that I'm a male aged between 25 and 34 years old. Next, you're going to go to myactivity.google.com. You're going to see all the activity that Google has on you while you've been using its products. So if you use Chrome web browser, Google search, it's going to show you every website you've visited. Now check this out. Google knows exactly where you've been too, especially if you use Google Maps or if you've searched for places. And you can find that information by going to google.com/maps/timeline. And here you're going to see everywhere you've been, whether it's around the world or around the United States, throughout a specific timeline. And if you zoom in, you can see exactly where you've traveled, which is kind of creepy. Again, Google knows, say you've spent time sitting in a sushi restaurant downtown, it knows you were there. So what does Google know about you? Well, combined, I found that Google was able to find my name, gender, birth date, my personal cell phone numbers, the websites I've visited, when I turned my bedroom lights off last, because I use Google Home for that, exactly where I've been over the past couple of years, and it knows every time I've used my voice to interact with Google, whether it was through a cell phone or my Google Home. All in, that's pretty creepy. And you should follow our guide both here and on the website where I wrote how to find out what Google knows about you and limit the data it collects.
Recent research has discovered that many mobile apps violate Apple and Google policies. Developers sent out silent push notifications for installed apps to respond to the alerts, confirming that the user is still unaware of their tracking software. In other words, silent notification is hidden instructions that is delivered to the app on a user's device. Instead of causing an interaction with a user like a typical push notification, silent notification will simply quietly deliver a certain set of data to the app, allowing the app to act upon that data. Once an app is uninstalled, companies can send you ads to encourage you to reinstall their apps, said Bloomberg. The use of push notification to track and give ads to users violates Google's and Apple's terms and policies, which prohibits developers from using push notification to create an advertisement-based audience. Developers says to Bloomberg, "I would expect to be able to know how many people have uninstalled an app. I would not say that. As an app developer, you have a right to know exactly who installed and uninstalled your app."